Hey guys, Corey here. Today I'm doing a video over books, some books that I have that I recommend. I get a lot of questions like, what book should I buy? Well, I can't recommend just a single book that will just fix every issue you have. I've probably got 4 totes worth of books, and I pulled out about 7 or 8 or however many's here that I think are pretty informative. They're laid out well for me. Obviously, some people they might have a different idea. This is my opinion. So the big kind of crave right now, everyone's wanting to live like more of a self-reliant like style. I've got some books that I think would help with that. A lot of people are nervous about doing certain things. Say growing a garden. If you've never done it, it might seem daunting. It's really not that bad. Mistakes will be made, but that's just the part of learning. So the first book I'm going to show you, I read this a long time ago, actually probably 15 years ago, and it just kind of opened my whole world into like, wow, this is really cool. So that is Back to the Basics. Also, I'll put a still photo at the end of my video of each of these books, so you can look up the author and stuff. Most of these books I did buy on Amazon, not all, but a lot. And they're all pretty reasonable priced. I don't know, the most expensive one's probably 20, 25 bucks. Most of them are probably around the 10 to 15 range. So Back to the Basics, this is an earlier version. I know they're probably on like version 4 by now. This might be actually the first version. If you want to know what it was like to do things the old way, so what your grandfathers probably went through, and the way they did things, this book is amazing. It well illustrated, a lot of pictures and stuff like that. It breaks down the layout of your land, gardening, animals, stuff like that. It's really simply wrote, if that makes sense at all. Pretty easy to follow, but it just kind of like touches base on a whole array of subjects just a little bit. I mean, it doesn't go like into super specific details, but you'll kind of get a general overview of maybe what direction you want to go. But I highly recommend this book. It would be at my top. I really thoroughly enjoyed it, and if you get it, I hope you do too. To stay on the whole self-reliant farming type, when it comes to gardening, this book here, I just got this like 2 months ago, maybe not even that long. I learned a lot about it. So I've always been the type that when I had a garden, I kind of like everything being nice and neat and in rows. Well, this is a book on mini farming, self-sufficiency on a 1/4 acre. So it's specifically targeting small plots of land, how to get the most out of it. And it blew my mind how much I'm wasting, how much space I'm wasting by having your conventional garden, 1 row of this, 1 row of that. This talks a lot about companion planting, so what plants go with what and do good. So if a lot of people, they don't have access to a lot of equipment, whether it be tractors, tillers, this is kind of focused on, we're going to go in your backyard, however big it may be, make a raised bed. This is kind of focused on the raised bed technique with common hand tools, and you're going to get a lot of produce. So I highly recommend this on if you're kind of new to gardening, or you just got a small backyard, you can still grow a lot of produce, a lot more than what you probably think. So mini farming right here, really good book. When it comes to farm animals, I believe I bought this at Rural King. If you don't have a Rural King by you, it's like a farm supply store. It'd be similar to Tractor Supply or Orscheln's, or I don't know what you have in your area. But this is the Backyard Homestead Guide to Raising Farm Animals, so pretty cut and dry there. So this breaks down every animal that your farm would probably have, whether it be small animals, chickens, rabbits, whatever, up to your large, horses and cows. sheep, honey bees, goats, pretty much whatever you think is on a farm is in here. It really breaks it down. I like the way they kind of categorize each animal. They tell you, obviously, the pros and cons of that animal, how to care for it, things to look out for, its needs when it comes to food, shelter, and if you're going to raise young, and how to do that. So, a really good book on animals. I know a lot of this stuff for new people seems daunting. They don't think they have enough room or the skills to do it. You can start off small. Chickens, super easy. Rabbits, I have chickens and rabbits. They've all been pretty easy so far. Highly recommend that book when it comes to animals. Another kind of self-sufficient book. I just got this. And again, it's kind of redundant to what these other books have said, but there's also more. But this is a self-sufficient life and how to live it. Great book. Again, lots of pictures. The books that I have here that I'm going to tell you about, most of them have a lot of pictures and a lot of illustrations because I'm the type of guy that learns by seeing. I have a really hard time just reading it and then be able to do it. So I like when they take pictures, they show you this is what it should look like when it's done, this is what it shouldn't look like. But this here kind of goes over the whole farm, from animals to your produce, to your buildings, to cooking, to cleaning, to whatever. This is a very, very informative book. Highly recommend it. The Ask Jackie series. Backwoods Home Magazine publishes these. This one just happens to be over pressure canning. This is just a Q&A book. Anyone that sends her, Jackie, questions, she'll write them down, she'll answer them, and then she makes these books out of them. So when you're pressure canning, whatever question you might come up with, Jackie's probably answered it. So I read through here. It is kind of neat because you're getting other people's perspectives on things, and she's just answering the question, how to fix it, how to prevent it, whatever it may be. I have, I think, 3 of her books now. They're all laid out about the same. It's just questions and answers. And I like all of her books so far. So Ask Jackie through Backwoods Home Magazine. Now, I do know this one I did buy off Backwoods Home Magazine website. The Self-Sufficient Handbook. This is a kind of a real brief overview of kind of what's in all these others. But I do like the way it's laid out. It's very easy to read. I wouldn't call myself an overly genius, smart man. I do like the way it's broke down for the beginner. But like I said, it just kind of goes over. But it talks about just being self-sufficient on your plot of land. This is a pretty good book. If you want to go more into the bushcraft side of things, so building shelters out in the woods or cooking out in the woods, Dave Canterbury, most people have heard of him. He runs his own school, teaches this kind of stuff. He does it all over the world. This is one of his books. This is The Advanced Bushcraft, an expert field guide to the art of wilderness survival. I recommend all his books. He's very, very knowledgeable, and he surrounds himself with some pretty good teachers as well. And he actually has his own school. You can go to it if you want. He has, I'm sure, all social media platforms I'm sure he's on, or you can just Google his name. It would definitely come up. He sells a lot of products too. So, yeah, if you want more in the bushcraft side of things, I highly recommend the Dave Canterbury books. This is Mammal Tracks and Sign. This is the second edition. This book was a little pricey, but anyone that's getting into hunting or trapping or, whatever it may be, and you want to learn how to just track animals and, oh, I see a footprint, I wonder what that is, this book is definitely for you. I think it might be one of the best books I have found yet on mammal tracks and their signs. So tons and tons of pictures in here. It not only goes over their tracks, but their feces, the way they mark mark certain trees or areas, their trails. It's amazing. Like, this book breaks down everything. So, I don't know, what if something gets in your chicken coop and you found footprints, you would know exactly what it is. You could take this book out there, match them up, and you would know what it is and then how trap it or get rid of it or whatever. Highly recommend this book, but again, I don't know, I want to say I paid probably around $50 for this book, but it is amazing. I can't believe how many good quality photos they got in here, and it's of everything. The animal, it even tells you different strides, front feet, some are different from the back feet on animals. Great book. So if you want something with mammal signs and tracks and stuff, highly recommend this book here. Like I said, so this was just kind of a brief overview of books I would recommend people read if they're wanting to get into the self-sufficient, I don't want to say prepper, and not really prepper, just more not relying on the grocery store so much type books. And then obviously the Bushcraft book for someone that's looking in that. And then Animal Track and Signs, because I think that's just an amazing book. There's a lot of books I didn't put on here because one would be finding edible plants. I haven't found a book yet. I found a lot of decent books, but I haven't found a book that just jumps out at me and I'm like, that's what you need. But not only that, everyone's area is different. I'm in the Midwest. We have plants here that they don't other places. So if I go to another place, the books I buy are mainly structured for the Midwest states. So if I go out west, there's going to be a lot of stuff I've probably never even seen before. But I haven't found one that I'm just like thoroughly impressed with yet. So I didn't want to show any of them. And then there's a lot of specialty books I have. I didn't show. These kind of go over a broad range of subjects. So to me, you're getting your best bang for your buck on them type of books. But I have books on just specific animals, specific way, butchering, whatever it may be. I didn't want to show you any of them because, again, it's just more of a specific book. But if you guys got any books you recommend, let me know in the comments section. I greatly appreciate it. I love going through these books. I love reading. I'd rather buy them in an actual book than buy them on the computer or my Kindle, because I kind of like having in front of me. I like to be able to take them out. So if I'm working outside, I can take the book with me and reference it. But hopefully you guys got some out of this. Like I said, this is kind of what I recommend. But let me know if you guys got anything else in mind. I'd love to look at them. But until next time, have a good one.